my clock, I can't stop. Fuck around, make my 40 pop. No popcorn, I pop pistols. Reaming my body, clothing no issue. Bitch, you look sick, you need a tissue. You drop a body, I just might bless you. I'm metrosexual.
Yo, what is going on, everyone? It's Wraith here, back with another video. Now in today's video, I'm going to be basically talking about what the best loadout is for Season 11. Now this is going to be mostly for solos, but I will just help you guys a little bit in squads here or there with a couple of the tips. But yeah, basically in Season 10, it was kind of crazy. There's so much loot pool, there's so much mobility items, launch pads, grapplers, back grapplers, the impulse nades, everything. There's so many different things that, like, it was just hard to keep track, like different ARs, different shotguns, different SMGs. That was hard to keep track what was actually good and what you should have used and what you should have dropped, etc., etc. So in today's video, I'm going to basically be going over what the best loadouts are, and obviously I'm not just going to give one strict loadout because that would be kind of impractical, but I will give you guys a couple of good loadouts and what you should take in each slot, and hopefully this video will help you guys out. If you have any video ideas or want to see any specific videos, I think my next one might be landing spots in Season 11 for solos or even possibly squads. Just let me know in the comments and I'll try my best to reply to you guys, and let's get right, and well, make sure you guys slap a like button on this video, hit that subscribe button, and use creator code WraithFM in the item shop. Can't forget about that part, but yeah, let's get right into today's video. So at first we got to talk about the most important thing, I'd say, in your loadout, and it's basically your shotgun. So a lot of you guys are probably wondering, like, okay, well, there's only really two shotguns, so like, do I take the pump, do I take the tac, what if it's gold, what if it's a purple, blah 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 blah, right? So basically what I've seen by watching a lot of pros and by playing the game myself and kind of figuring out what I like more, personally I think the tacs are way better than the pumps. And a lot of the pro players are also just grabbing tacs over top of pumps, which again I'll get to in a couple seconds. But like I said, I think that the tac is just overall better. The pump's damage isn't nowhere near as good as it used to be, so it's just kind of, it's similar to damage as in the tac, except the tac has 8 bullets as well as a faster DPS, so you literally don't have to wait longer to shoot more bullets. So personally, I think the tac is better. So what I would do is I would take a green tac over over the blue pump, and obviously the blue tac over top of the blue pump. Common tac, you can probably go with a blue pump if you want. Again, even then, some areas I might even end up taking the gray tac if I feel like it, because I personally just really don't like the pumps of this meta, but again, it's kind of up to you. But then this is where it gets confusing, is with the golden and purple tac and then golden and purple pump. So for the golden and purple pump, it's the best gun in the game. Take it no matter what. I don't care if you have a golden tac, anything. Take that over any other gun in the entire game. The golden and purple pump are absolutely unreal. And then when it comes to the golden and purple tac, obviously I would say take it over top of the blue tac, and obviously over any other pump besides its purple or legendary variant. So basically, in general, a rule of thumb I kind of like to go to is grab a tac unless it's a blue or a purple or gold pump, because other than that, basically the pump isn't very good in my opinion. So now moving on from the shotgun, basically the next most important one would probably be your AR. So currently there's technically 4 ARs, but really only 2. There's the burst, the AUG, the SCAR, and then the normal AR. But I guess you can kind of classify them kind of like the pump and the tac. Like the AUG is basically just a better burst, and then the SCAR is just a better AR. But for me and a lot of people, normally AR is the way to go. Not many people like the burst unless you're controller, because normally your bloom works a little bit better if you're using a burst. So basically what I would suggest doing is just using a normal AR. Like, I'd use a common AR over top of a blue burst any day, just because the burst can, sometimes you're right, do like 2 or 3 head dinks and you could get lucky, but in most case scenarios you're not going to maybe get one shot, maybe one headshot, something like that, and it takes so long for the reticle to go down into the first shot accuracy. So personally, I don't really like the burst, and a lot of people don't, but like I said, on controllers sometimes the burst can be good. And then the AUG, again, kind of personal preference. I don't personally really like it that much. I'll probably take it over top of like a common AR, but I'd probably a green AR to keep over the AUG. But again, that's kind of your guys' opinion and what you guys want to use. Personally, I just really like first shot accuracy and the ability of having an automatic assault rifle, not just the burst, because then I feel like it goes towards a little bit of bloom and you might not be able to get that first headshot because you're going to have to, if you go for the first headshot with a burst gun, the next 2 bullets are going to be over his head, so you'd have to start with a body shot and then hopefully they go up to the head, so it's kind of a little bit confusing. But personally, I'd rather just take a AR, like a normal AR, and then obviously SCAR's best ARs in the game. Take those if you get them. But basically, that's it for ARs, and now let's move on to the SMGs, where this is kind of the biggest thing because there's only one SMG. Well, the P90, obviously the P90s are better than the normal SMGs, so I don't really have to talk too much about that. But is basically a lot of people say, do I need an SMG? And the answer is, well, kind of and not really, right? So it's kind of confusing. Again, depends on your playstyle. Some people, if they have like a TAC, for example, a blue TAC, a purple TAC, whatever, just any form of TAC, a lot of people don't need an SMG. They just feel comfortable not using an SMG. They don't need that spraying ability, and they just don't really need an SMG. Personally, I really like having the SMG just because I feel like I can spray down walls. I can get an extra 1938 damage just spraying at someone's wall or breaking into something, or just endgame spraying down at people with an SMG. But again, that's just my opinion. I don't really like just having a common AR and then a TAC, but again, it kind of depends on your playstyle. With a pump, I would 100% keep an SMG if I were you, because the pumps, you don't really have enough time to just shoot it twice because it's such a kind of delay between the next shot. So I'd recommend using an SMG if you have a pump. But with a TAC, it kind of becomes your choice and depends on your other options. Like if you have a rocket launcher, let's say 2 big pots and 6 minis, well then I would say drop the SMG if you have a TAC, because honestly having those extra big pots and the rocket launcher would make all the difference. But again, up to you really, and that moves on to our extra slots, which there isn't that many options right now as of Season 11. There's basically the bandage gun, a fishing pole, small pots, big pots, rocket launcher, grenades, and a sniper, I guess. So basically, it kind of depends. So this is where I said it kind of goes into the squads, and I'll talk a little bit about the solos. But for solos, I personally don't recommend carrying a bandage gun just because it takes up 2 slots. And I mean, it is good, but I'd say the only time it's really that useful is basically when you're trying to outrun Storm or trying to get a Storm survive by out healing other people. But in most case scenarios, I'd almost always rather, or tell you guys to rather, hold minis or a big pot, and then extra like a sniper or nades or something like that, just because it's rough with having a bandage gun when you don't have anything else for heals, or you kind of basically have to waste 2 slots. In squads, I definitely recommend one person taking the bandage gun while the others hold shields if you guys get it, because then it's a little bit overpowered. But in solos, it's definitely not as good. And then the next one is basically, well, rocket launchers, grenades, and snipers. And again, kind of comes into personal opinion. For squads, 100% take nades and rocket launchers first. You should always have 2 guys on your team have 10 nades each, and then 1 guy have a rocket launcher. That's basically your best case scenario. That's what you should be going for. But in solos, it kind of comes a little bit different. I personally don't recommend carrying like 10 nades. Like, sure, you might be able to get a kill, but it's a lot easier to dodge nades by one person than it is to like dodge a full team throwing nades at you. So personally, I wouldn't recommend grabbing nades unless you have a free empty spot. Then obviously you can. Your main goal should be trying to get a rocket launcher, like a gold or a purple one. That would be really, really good if you can, but most of the time you can't get good ones unless they're from supply drops or something like that, or those special chests. Snipers, again, pretty good. You can carry them if you want. I would personally rather have a rocket launcher over a sniper, but that's just my opinion. Some people hit really good sniper shots, some people don't. So again, you kind of got to play to your play style. And then shields, like I said, I always go for the 6 minis over top of the big pots. That's just my opinion. And I guess now with fishes, actually, if you don't have, like, if you have a sniper and 6 minis, but you get like a slurp fish, probably drop the sniper for the slurp fish or the just normal health fish. That's what or the floppers, that's what they're called. Fish are pretty good, but again, I wouldn't take them over top of like a rocket launcher or minis or something like that. Even 2 slurp fish, like, Actually, Slurpfish I'd probably take over the minis if I had 2 of them, just because that'd be like 150 HP or 100 HP or whatever they are. So again, kind of depends. It's pretty hard to get 2 Slurpfishes, so I wouldn't really worry about that too much. But yeah, and then basically the only other kind of confusing part people get in is, well, what happens if I just killed someone and I have so much loot? Like, I have a rocket launcher, I have big pots, I have mini pots, I have floppers, shotguns, blah blah blah. So basically, my ideal loadout, and this is what a lot of pros start using in solos, again, it kind of differs for each person, but my ideal loadout would be a Scar, a purple or gold pump, an SMG, 6 minis, and a rocket launcher. So that would be my ideal loadout. Even if there's extra big pots, floppers, stuff like that, that would be my ideal loadout. Now, if I didn't have, for example, I had a purple tack instead of that pump, I'd drop the SMG and pick up the big pots. So then I'd have a Scar, a purple tack or gold tack or blue tack or whatever it is, mini pots, big pots, and then a rocket launcher. So again, kind of depends what you like. That's just kind of a general basis of what I use for my arena loadouts. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure you slap a like button on it, hit that subscribe button, and comment what you want to see for a future video. I'll see you guys all in the next one. Peace.